Okay, now we are live. Um, so thank you everyone for joining the day two of WordPress Skeptics um webinar. So we started off yesterday with some basic introduction about WordPress and the WordPress ecosystem in general. So we looked at the definition for WordPress, which is that it's an open source content management system that you can use to build websites. And then we also explained what open source is, meaning that in the tech space, when you say a product is open source, it means that people who are not original members of the product, original founders of that product, yeah, can contribute to it. So it's open for members of the public to contribute. So that's the same thing, and that's the same way WordPress operates. It's open source. So if you understand the language that WordPress was developed with, which is PHP, you can actually develop products or develop tools around it. So, and I mentioned yesterday that one of the or two of the easiest way for you to contribute to the WordPress ecosystem is by developing plugins or themes. Plugins or themes. Now, later on in the session yesterday, I explained that the open source nature of WordPress contributed to its rapid growth over the last 20 years, and which is that the fact that it started off as a blogging tool, something that you just used to blog, and then skyrocketed into the giant ecosystem that we have today, is because people sat back and said, hey, WordPress is built with PHP, which is a dynamic framework, something that is very, very, as if for example, a dynamic language that can use to build dynamic websites. So we can actually build other products on top of these to make it more efficient. So people sat back and decided that, oh, let's create something like WooCommerce. So that's a plugin that you can use to convert your WordPress website into an e-commerce website. So people also sat back and say, hey, let's create something that would give WordPress the ability to create multi-vendor websites, something like Jumia and AliExpress and Amazon and the likes. So that is the open source nature of WordPress. And we also explained content management system being any system or any tool that gives you the ability to publish content on a website via an intuitive dashboard. So what are the contents that you need on a website? You need your text, you need your images, you need videos and links and all those things. So if you are using something like WordPress, you can easily publish those on a live website through an intuitive dashboard. So aside that, we also talked about the popularity of WordPress, being that WordPress powers over 43% of the website, about 43% of the website on the internet today. So, which is a very, very impressive number, if you ask me. And that goes to show that WordPress is very popular. And if you learn WordPress web design, you cannot be stranded. You always have people that want you to manage their websites for them or all those stuff. So aside that, we also went into a division of the WordPress ecosystem where I explained that there's WordPress.com and there's WordPress.org. Now, I'm brushing through these things because those that were here yesterday would have known them, but for us that are joining today, so that we can have an understanding as to how we go where we are today. So we said WordPress.com is a service where you can actually go onto a WordPress website, like get a WordPress website rather, www.wordpress.com. So you go there, it's like something like Wix or Squarespace. You create an account. You don't have to worry about hosting or domain. You don't have to worry about all those ones. They give you an hosting space and they also give you a domain, something that is technically a subdomain. So that's why you see websites with www.something.wordpress.com. That means that person is using WordPress as a service. So that's a closed system, which you can get for free or you can actually pay for. So you would notice that when I was explaining, I mentioned hosting and domain. Now, hosting and domain are two key things that you need for any website at all. And this is not WordPress. For you to publish a website and make it online, you need somewhere to host it, and you need somewhere, you need a name to call it. So it's like giving your child, giving back to a child and giving it a name, and then finding somewhere for your child to live in. So www.something.com, that's a domain name. You have different domain name extensions. .net, .org, .gov, .edu, .ng, and the likes. So you explain that if you are using that WordPress as a service, it is more tailored towards users with less technical experience, people who just want to get the website sharp. They don't want to bother about the hosting administration, cPanel administration, or hosting infrastructure, speed, security, all those ones are taken care of. But then we also mentioned that if you go to WordPress.org, that is the site where you can download the WordPress core software. So remember we mentioned at the beginning that WordPress is open source. So saying WordPress is open source means that anybody has access to the WordPress core software. So you will download a zip file in which you can now do whatever you want with it. So you can take that one and then you can look for your own hosting now, because you'll be the author and finisher of the software. So you can take your own hosting, deploy that WordPress core installation files on that hosting, buy your domain and link it to it. So that way you are no longer in that WordPress as a service system. So I also mentioned that one of the reasons you will want to use WordPress.org is the flexibility that it gives you. Now, with WordPress.com, especially with the free version, you will not be able to monetize your website. You will not be able to sell products on it. So, but when people talk about the WordPress, like WordPress, they are talking actually about WordPress.org, because WordPress.org, you will need to pay. It's just like something like all these Shopify and Wix that you need to pay for. So that's just a brief distinction between the ecosystem. And we also looked at some of the, some of the myths surrounding WordPress, that it is not scalable. And in yesterday's class, or yesterday's, yesterday's webinar, we looked at that myth and we kind of dispelled it, in the sense that we looked at websites such as Microsoft News. I don't want to do it, but Microsoft News. And then let me share my screen to show you, for the benefit of those who were here yesterday. We can have a look at that stuff quickly. Have a look at that stuff quickly. Yes, so we looked at Microsoft News actually, and for Microsoft News, if you just search Microsoft News right now, Microsoft News, and we go to their website. If you visit Microsoft News website, you can, I'm using Wapalizer extension for browsers available for Firefox and Chrome. You can see that the CMS they're using is WordPress. And then if you use something like SEO Quick, you can check their traffic. So this traffic is per month. So you can see that this website uses WordPress and they have 1.2 million visits. Now, this is the same thing that you have with something like TechCrunch. So someone else has a question, I will answer you. I'm coming, please. Let me finish this part of the stuff. So we were asking a lot of questions yesterday. That's what people actually stretched in the session. Looks like many people are very interested in learning about the way WordPress works. So please, so if you also check TechCrunch, they use WordPress, and then I can use SEO Quick, and you can see they have 24.5 million visits. Now, the problem many people have with WordPress not being scalable, the bias they have, is the fact that the scalability of any system at all, not just WordPress, depends on your hosting plan. So you can't be hosting on one of these 2K hostings and you expect to get a very good result. So you can host your WordPress website on a cloud hosting, for example, like AWS, and it will scale. So when people are saying scalability, they're actually talking about the concern of if the plugins to install to check if it's a okay. So the plugins they're actually browser extensions, and you can use Wapalizer. So Wapalizer. So this is actually a website, but it's also available as an extension. So this is it, Wapalizer. Then the other extension is called SEO Quick. SEO Quick. So you need to register a free account from to be able to get this, but it's SEO Quick. So it will just tell you what to do. Now, so one of the problems, go to Chrome store and install, yes. So that's the date. So if you host it on a very good hosting plan, you will not have issues with scalability, so to say. So another issue is that it's not secure, and I dispelled that myth yesterday by saying that there is no system that is ultimately secure. Now, so as a developer or as a designer or as a user of any system or any stack or any framework or any technology, it is incumbent on you to know how to take reasonable steps to secure that system. Yes. So there are tips that you would follow to ensure that your WordPress website is secure. Now, that being said, it's also the case that the community around WordPress does all they can to release updates as fast as possible, even with security patches. Every time they release updates and updates and updates. So if you take some conscious steps, like updating the WordPress core software when the update is available, updating plugins and making sure that you're not using outdated plugins or themes, you should be safe. You should be safe. So that is the thing. So what is security is not a thing with WordPress. It's just the internet we live in. The internet in itself is not secure. Nothing is secure in the internet. So there were also concerns about the decline in popularity of PHP. And then we checked yesterday the popularity of PHP. If you check it, PHP powers about 77 point something percent of websites. So PHP, though there are other fancy ones like Next.js and the likes, or Nest.js, or all these Node.js that people like now, PHP is an OG. So if your problem with WordPress is that it's built on with a technology that is declining, you might want to reconsider your opinion, because even WordPress is powering 43% of the website on the internet today. It shows that it has something to offer, and it's going to be around for a long time because it has been around for like 20 years. So another concern is that it's not flexible. Now, this is merged together with the fact that they say WordPress websites look the same. So the flexibility of websites, both in functionality and in design, depends on whoever it is that is using it. So that's why today we're going to have a practical class about converting a Figma design that the client has given us into a WordPress website. Now, I made the Bootstrap reference there to show that it's not just a WordPress thing. People also complain about Bootstrap as a CSS framework, in the sense that people use it and they just use the default components that come out of it without styling or changing it. So WordPress has a very simple workflow. You know, you install WordPress, you get a theme that fits what you want, change it around, and then you just put your content, put your client's logo or your logo and use. So it is the case that there are many themes, or you see themes that are repeatedly used or that are used often. Now, many developers or many designers are lazy, or either the fact that they don't know how to use it so much. So they just use these templates like that. But if you see somebody that is very, very skilled, it will be able to change and turn it around, both in the style and the functionality. So it is not a WordPress issue. It is not a WordPress issue at all. It is an issue with those that are using it. Yeah, if you have a very skilled person, you would design a WordPress website and you won't be able to even recognize it at all. So now, the myth about WordPress is only for blogging. I dispelled that one yesterday by saying that you can't say WordPress is only for blogging, at least not at this point, because you can build e-commerce learning management system. And I gave an example yesterday that Old School, as at the last time and as at last year, they used to use an LMS that was powered by WordPress. I don't know if they still use it, but all their courses on like the LMS, this thing was WordPress. So I also mentioned that you can use it to build booking websites. You can use it to build a lot of awesome stuff. Like if you go to wplearnonline.com, you will see amazing articles there. One of them includes how the websites that WordPress can actually build. So aside the myths of WordPress, we also looked at why devs should learn WordPress. So it is free and open source. It is popular and is in demand. Then it's easy to get started with. It's a quick way to build websites. It's a great alternative to coding projects, especially for projects with very low budgets. So if your client has a very low budget as a dev, and you feel like you don't want to code this from scratch, WordPress or no-code tools or low-code tools like WordPress can be a very, very great alternative for you. So it's also great for building websites that require content management system like blogs. Then it has support for many third-party services. So you can think of payment gateways, CRMs, a lot of things. WordPress already has the support for it through plugins. Then we also said that it's easy to add features, speed, security, and all those stuff. So yesterday, we also installed WordPress, and I said that there are 3 ways for you that you can use WordPress. 3 ways, or basically 2 ways. You can do it online or offline. Now, the offline one is a little bit harder to do. Offline version is harder to do because you need to start using. It's more technical. So you need to use tools like SAM or Local by Flywheel, or use something like Laragon. But on the if you are online, if you buy any hosting plan at all, most of them come with cPanels. Now on cPanels, you can use something called Softaculous App Installer. You will see it on cPanel. It is one-click install. Once you do it, it will provision WordPress website for you and take it to your dashboard. Now, for those who don't have experience with cPanel, this is something you can just check out, how to install WordPress on cPanel. We did all these ones yesterday. But you can use a service called TasteWP. TasteWP. You can use this service. So if you create an account on this service, they will provision a WordPress website for you that can stay for 7 days at least. You can use it to practice. So if you don't want to go to the technicalities of building, of hosting it locally, or you don't have the hosting and domain now because you are just, you don't have the money to buy hosting and domain, you can use this for practice. So that's what we're going to be using for today's practical session. So all you need to do is sign up with your account and all those stuff. Then you can now log in. So if you want to log in now, I can log in with my own account here. There's no issues. If you log in, you can just create a new site. Then you can choose your WordPress version. You can choose your WordPress version here, and then your PHP version. So you can leave all these, like just leave them defaultly, and you can write a custom name. If you don't want the name, if you don't have a name, you can leave it and just create a temporary site, and it will set up domain, everything. It will be hosted on their web server. They will give you all the database, everything will be set up for you, and you just need to click access now. So you will easily get a WordPress website set up for you in minutes with this kind of solution. So we can wait for it and then just get rid of this guy. So this is what the WordPress dashboard looks like. This is where you do all the magic you need to do. You publish your content and all those ones. So on the left hand here is all your like the menu. You need to access different places or different parts of the WordPress dashboard. Now let me say that these parts here might differ or might increase as you install plugins. So each plugin you install will have a menu to where you can administer that particular plugin. So, but then yesterday we looked at some of the important aspects of this dashboard, and I mentioned that the first thing you want to do on a fresh WordPress installation is go to settings and go to permalinks. Settings and permalinks. So permalinks basically means your URL structure. That's what permalinks means, your URL structure. So you can see that you have plain, day and name. So the plain one has the P equals 1, 2, 3. The day and name has the day and the dates, that particular post or page. That's the article or a page, like About Us page, was created. So for example, if I click on day and name now, and I save it, you can visit your WordPress website by hovering at the top here, and I would usually like to right click so that I have my dashboard still open. Hello World is very familiar in the tech world. Like any small thing you do, you see Hello World. So if I click on Hello World, you can see that I have these dates, appended or put before it. Now, the reason you would choose post name is that's the most recommended one, post name. And the reason is because you want a URL structure that is SEO friendly. Now, choosing post name will just give you something slash the name of the post or the name of the article. Now that one is more SEO friendly, and it's also even user friendly because you can easily tell somebody, oh, go to the blog website for or go to the blog page for WP Learnonline. The person does not have to remember some set of numbers. So for example, you can go to the WP Learnonline's website, and if you go to another page, all you will see is WP Learnonline /. So this is WP Learnonline. You can come to blog. You will see that you have WP Learnonline /blog. If you clicked on a particular article, for example, you just have Learnonline / this log, which is so this is the most recommended one or the best one for you to use. So that's what we discussed about permalinks. So you have a fresh WordPress installation, go into settings, your permalinks, and what you choose post name. So after saving that, the next thing we looked at was reading. And I mentioned that in reading, the place that concerns you here is your own page displays. So you have two options when it comes to the reading settings for WordPress. It's either you choose your latest post or you choose a static page. A latest post or a static page. Now, what the choice as to which to choose between both of them, if that is correct, the choice as to which one to go with for both of them depends on the project you want to work with or the project you want to work on. Now, if you are building a blog website, you want users to hit your own page and what they will see are your latest posts. So if I were to be building something like a Punch newspaper website, I was building something like Premium Times or something like, let's go to Premium Times now. Premium Times, where's their website? I would want, because it's a blog, so I will want my users to land on my own page and see my latest blog post 17 minutes ago, 57 minutes ago, 1 hour ago. That's what I'm building. And this is a WordPress website. If we use our equalizer to check once more, you would see that technologies will show us that they're using WordPress. So same with Premium Times. Same thing with Premium Times. We also see that they are using WordPress. So that's the same structure. So these are just blog websites, and that's the same structure. But on the other hand, if I'm building a website that I want to have pages instead, home page, about us page, contact us page, services page, the structure of a website like that is radically different because you want people to land on a page that talks about, that welcomes them to your site. Learnonline. When you go on the Learnonline, you are not seeing blog articles. You are seeing something introducing you to what we do at Learnonline. Now, you might now have a place that says latest articles. You are just embedding your articles there. But the main focus of this website, or the main function of the homepage on this website, is not to show you blog articles. So when you get to reading settings, you would ask yourself, okay, what kind of website am I building? Am I building a blog? If I'm building a blog, yes, you can leave it at the default settings, which is your latest post, because WordPress primarily is for blogging. Right out of the blogs or box, it is provisioned for blogging. But if I want to build something that has a page-like structure or homepage about us, page contact, then I would choose a static page. Now let's demonstrate what I'm talking about. So you remember that if I go to my website, the homepage is showing me Hello World. Hello World is a post. Now, if I go to static page and I click on sample page, for example, and save my changes, by the time I would refresh this, you'll see that it's showing me sample page now. Sample page is something like home page. That's just what it is. So it can be home page, it can be any page at all. It doesn't matter. So that is the distinction between the two. So you will notice that again, if I go back to reading settings and set it to your latest post and I save changes, somebody wants to ask questions.
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can see a lot of items this dashboard menu. So if, for example, working for a client, so is it the same dashboard the client will be seeing when I deliver the site to the person? Like, I don't think like all this something like plugin appearance are actually necessary for
Okay.
them.
So this is it. The question you're asking is if when you submit it to your clients, they will see all these things here, right?
Yeah.
And am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good question. Now, the thing is that WordPress has user management system. Now, the user management system comes with different user administration levels. Now, what you will see here is because, or what we are seeing here right now, the appearance, the plugins, is because the first account that you create with a WordPress website is an admin account. Now, WordPress has editor, contributor, subscriber, author. Now, each of those other ones they will have different levels of administration. So, for example, somebody that has like contributor or editor will not see appearance and plugins. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because in most cases, when you want to hand over the website to your clients, especially when you are dealing with a client that's less technical savvy, you don't want to give them the admin account so that they don't inadvertently change something on the website. So you want to give them an administration level that can only do some specific tasks, maybe update articles on the website, maybe create a new page. But things like appearance plugins are just for the admin account. So there are also some specific plugins that you can install that will allow you to customize the options that should even be here, irrespective of whatever user role the person is using to log in. You can also do that. So those are two things. Now, before you give it to your client, it's just that most times when you're working with your clients, they always feel like you are holding them ransom. It depends on your relationship with that client. So people, when they trust you entirely, they just believe that you are doing what's best for them. But some people always have it at the back of mind that maybe some developers have shown them pepper in the past, so they want to have all the this thing possible. If it is like that, give them. If they spoil it, maybe they will come and meet you and you will collect money again to do anything. So I hope that answered your question. Hello, Destiny.
Yeah. I don't know if you can actually show us something like how to go about it, like you have to do something like that.
Okay. This is actually the reason why this class took so long and we had to do it today. So you see users here, right? You see users here. If you go to all users here, this is my own account now, and you can see that the role is administrator. Now, if you want to add a new user, you can add a new user. Username is required. So let me do something. Let me just say, yes, I'm recording the webinar. Yeah, so let me say subscriber. Now let me say subscriber. Let me make it contributor now. Email is required, so I'll just do anyhow. It doesn't necessarily have to be a valid one. But when you're working on a live website, of course, you're going to use a valid email because of password reset. So for the password, let me just make it something simple. Let me make it something simple and just say contributor. It's going to tell you it's weak password. You also don't want to use a weak password on a live website. So for the role now, you have subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator. Now, let me give you a rundown of these roles. For editor is someone who can create his own posts, like his own content, and also approve the content of any of the other levels below him. So an editor is simply like an editor in chief. The way all of you will write posts. And then you take it to editor in chief, and the editor in chief will just like, approve it. Let's publish this. Now, for an author is someone who can write his own post and publish only his own posts. Now, because everybody, when you log into a WordPress dashboard, if you have so many users, you will see all the posts and pages that all the users have created. Now, some of them will be published already. Some people don't have the ability. For example, someone like a contributor. A contributor's posts will only be saved to drafts. He can't publish it. He can't go live on the website. So from the name contributor, he's just contributing. Now, it's only an editor that now says, this person's post is good. Let's publish it on the website. Now, a subscriber is just someone that cannot even do anything. He can't even publish anything. A subscriber cannot publish anything. He's just there because you're probably building a membership website, and then you want people to be able to create accounts. So someone that is a subscriber, once the person creates an account on your website, the person's information will be saved on the database. So in most cases, if you are giving any group or a group of persons subscriber, it's because when they log in, you redirect them to another place. Maybe you want them to have access to some types of articles, because you can build those kind of things in WordPress where you have some articles that are behind the paywall, like the way Medium will do. So people that are subscribers can have access to like the full articles, while people that are not subscribed or people that are not members of that website would have access to just maybe half of the article. You get the way Medium does it. So for this one, now let's make him a contributor, and then I will say add new user. Let me save this. Now it's a contributor. I'll open this my website on the this thing. I'll open it on a private tab like this, and let's log in through here. Why is my enter not working? Is there something wrong with this guy? Okay. Yeah. So let's log in now. Contributor. Now, in case you did not notice, to log into my website, I actually did the domain name /WP admin. Now that's the default login route or login URL for WordPress. But you want to change that when you're working with a live environment. You want to change that, and because there's a security vulnerability in not changing it, because anybody that has a basic idea of WordPress can get to this place, and you can be open to brute force attacks. The person can start trying different random passwords and username. So always change this thing. There are plugins for you to be able to change it. So you can change the route. Don't leave it at WP admin. So now you see the dashboard. Now this guy is logging in, and you see that he's a contributor here, and he doesn't have access to it. Now the other guy that will logged in as an admin, see all the access he has. But someone that is a contributor, he can't change anything. He can't even put up posts. He can't even create pages. So that's the kind of user management system that WordPress gives you. And let me tell you that depending on the kind of system you're also building, as you're adding plugins, you'll be having different user levels. So if you add something like WooCommerce for e-commerce websites, for example, you have shop manager user. That's somebody that his own role will be to change products, upload products, put their prices, description, and publish it on your website. So the more kind of different plugins will create additional user roles to the default ones that come with WordPress. But it just shows you the kind of power that WordPress packs right out of the box. So that's about user management. We're saying something earlier. So after changing it, whether it's page or post reading, we also now looked at how to create articles or pages on your website. So to create an article, you go to posts. Post is like your normal article kind of thing. Post are articles basically. So you add title, let's say add a title. You add the content of that title of that article, and then one other important thing is your featured image. So if you see that if you go to Punch newspapers, you see that many of the articles will come with featured image. So it's important for you to put featured images, and then of course the featured images will be things that relate to what the article is talking about. So if you're talking about Messi or talking about Ronaldo or talking about anybody, the featured image will of course be Ronaldo. So let's go back to our add posts, and then if you go to posts, you can see featured image here, and you can set the featured image. Now you can either drag and drop an image, or you can select from your device on your laptop to put up an image on your website. So let me see. Let me use DevX for example. This is something that we did before. So if you set as featured image, you can just publish it, and immediately this is published. We can go to our website. Let me see if I've changed this. Yeah. So I've changed it to show our latest post, and that's why it is showing this post as our latest post now. So, and we also mentioned that some of the tips that when you're dealing with images is that you should always try to use images that are royalty free. That's why you have resources like Unsplash, Pexels, Pixabay. You don't just go to Google and search for an image and you want to just use it like that, because even Google gives you that warning that images may be subject to copyright. And also mentioned that when you want to use your images, ensure that you are compressing them. So although there are plugins in WordPress that can help you with image compression, but the way I like to do it is that before I even put anything on my server, I want it compressed. So a tool like what's this thing called, tiny JPG, can help you compress it in such a way that you don't lose any, what's it called? You don't lose quality. It's only the size that will change. So, for example, this one now that is 487, you see that it has reduced it to 164. And this is an image for one of my clients, so that's why I don't want to show it. But if you go to tiny JPG, you will be able to see it. So it will reduce the size for you. Then you can now upload it on your website. So whatever image compression or whatever caching or whatever speed optimization you now want to do on your website, it will now further reduce it or improve it. So you don't want to use images 5 MB, 10 MB and just put it on your website. Like, it's going to slow down the user experience. So you don't want to torture your users. So aside that, we now looked at things like categories and tags, which I said that categories are a way for you to, break down your articles into different like broad topics. So that's why you go to Punch newspaper, you have old news, you have investigations, sports, politics, business, editorials, and the likes. So that's because each of those articles have different categories. And the reason you will categorize them is for your users to always find the content they are interested in. It's very important that when a user lands on your website, it is easy for him to find what he's interested in. You make the user journey and the user experience so delightful. That's what will keep him on your website. But if you have like thousands of content and he has to start picking the one he's interested in, you will bore him. So you want to ensure that if just like Netflix or any other product that has different categories, they know what they are doing. So if you want action, go there. If you want comedy, go here. If you want this, you go here. You are letting them know where to go. And your navigation is placed somewhere they can easily see it. Easily. This is not something that I'm now looking for. How do I go around? No. It's placed right at the top. You can't miss it. So when you categorize your content like that, it's very good. Now, tags are also another way to categorize articles, but those ones are not as broad as the way you would see for categories. Tags are more like very, very specific. So tags can help you to group related content together, even if those contents are in different categories. Now, let me explain. Let's say you have an article of Messi winning Ballon d'Or. That will probably be in sports. Now, if you have Messi's tax evasion, you can put it under crime or finance. Now, a good tag for both articles is Messi. If somebody clicks on that Messi tag, tags are usually most times like you will see them somewhere. I don't know if these guys use a tag system, but you will see them somewhere on the posts, under the posts as tags. So if you click those tags, what is telling you the difference between pages and categories in WordPress. Now, pages are a type of post type that WordPress comes with. Categories deals with posts. Categories deals with posts. You can't use when you're talking about pages. Pages are static content, like when you have home page, about us page, contact us page, and those ones. You are dealing with very static content that don't change often. But when you're talking about categories, you're talking about the different broad themes that you would have for your posts, for your articles. So if you create an article about anything, it will be easy. It's even easier for you to know what category an article falls under. If you're talking about Nigerian election now, a good category for Nigerian election is definitely politics, because that is the topic it is speaking about. That is the area that is speaking about. I'm trying to admit someone now. Okay, so that's the area that it is actually speaking about. So the distinction now should now be between what posts and pages. Posts and pages. So pages are more static in the sense that most times they will not change. This is a page here, home page. It's just like that. On page. But most times when you're talking about posts are just posts are articles. Don't just confuse yourself. Forget the fancy word that WordPress is giving it. When you see articles, stories that you can read, those are your posts. Those are your posts. Things that you can read, those are your posts. Those articles, those are your posts. Those things that you can give comments on. Yeah, that's another hallmark. That's another hallmark for posts. You give comments. In most times too, when you see posts, you will see you may also be interested in. You see, you might also be interested in. For pages, it's usually not like that because nobody is, when you see a page like this, most times you will not see, you might also be interested in. But if you click on an article in Learnonline or any other any other blog website, by the time you get to the end, you will be recommending other posts to you. So even WordPress says, I say WordPress, even Learnonline says recommended. Recommended. Now, one of the other things I forgot to mention when you're dealing with images is the fact that if you want to upload an image in WordPress, it's important that you pay attention to these fields: alt text, title, title. So the title should be related to the particular page or post that you want to use it for. It's very important. Although featured images will most likely be useful to you when you are creating articles. But if your article is Arsenal Science Declan Rice, put the title as Declan Rice. It's good for SEO. Now, the other thing is alt text. Alt text is that text that will show up if the image cannot load for any reason. If that image cannot load, maybe because of slow network or something, you will see an alt text will show up. So it's very important for you to put the alt text because even Google enjoys it. Search engines enjoy it because alt text also improve what they call accessibility of your website. Now, accessibility is the ability for your website to be used by even people with disability. No, it's not rap, but that is it. Accessibility. When you create a website, bear it in mind that you're not just creating it for people who can use it like the normal way. You're also going to be creating for people with, for example, visual impairments, people that will use screen readers. Now, people that use screen readers, when the screen reader gets to image, it is the alt text that it will read out to them. So that is part of what we say accessibility. It's like having a store and then you have a staircase, steps. There's also a place that you have like a ramp for people that want to use wheelchair. It's because you also want to widen your customer brackets. So when you're building a website too, you also want to widen the amount of people that can enjoy it seamlessly. That's why as you are creating it, you are also creating accessibility functionalities to it. So in fact, if you go on the Learnonline website, for example, or any other website that cares about accessibility, you will see something like this or one icon of somebody on a wheelchair. In websites like that, you can increase text, you can decrease the text, you can turn it to grayscale. If for people that don't like colors, you can turn it to grayscale completely. You can do other like wonderful things to it, color contrast and the likes. So it's very important. So that I should mention that. Now, aside posts and pages, those are the things that we could take yesterday because we don't want to take so much of our time. And we have used like the 1 hour to explain some of the things that we did yesterday so that this can be on recording because yesterday we forgot to start recording early. Now, today's section is about checking out how WordPress can be used to create custom designs. Now, I'm working for a client because one of the issues that people have is that WordPress might not be able to do custom designs for Figma. Somebody who asked about it yesterday, that if your client gives you a Figma file, how do you use WordPress? Since you'll be depending on themes and all. Now we're going to work with an hypothetical case where a client has given us a Figma design to work with. Let me just open my Figma here. And the tool we are going to be using is called Elementor. Elementor. Now, Elementor is a page builder for WordPress. The concepts of page builders is relatively new, but it's a different way to work with WordPress. Now, whilst WordPress gives you the ability to work with themes that have been pre-made by other persons, that you will just, remove here, and remove here. There are also page builders that allow you to customize to the letter the way your WordPress website will look like. And one of the most intuitive ones and the most in-demand one in the industry is Elementor. And that's because Elementor can allow you to build anything you want, anything at all. So we are working for this client that says Boldoo. That's the name of the client. And as an Elementor designer, we have taken it upon ourselves, or as a web developer, we have looked at the design, which is this. And we have seen that there's no big deal in this. No man, I cannot be coding this. So let me just use WordPress, particularly because it doesn't look like they have a blog. That's another reason why I'm saying, oh, let's use WordPress for this. Because if they have a blog, if I wanted to code this from scratch, I'll build the front end. Let's say they have somebody to build the back end. Now we also need to build an admin dashboard and the likes. But WordPress has given us an admin dashboard. So we don't need to do that. We just need to create that front end for WordPress to work with. So let's get started. We have our WordPress installation on this particular place. And then let's see how we can use Elementor to design it. Full screen mode, get off. And then we'll go to plugins and click on admin. Now, Elementor is a plugin. And when you talk about plugins in WordPress, you're talking about like apps that can improve the functionality of WordPress. So if you have a Windows computer, for example, fresh installed, like you just bought it, you just tear over, you'll most likely not use it like that. You know, depending on what your work is, you'll most likely, install VLC, for example, to watch movies. It's not like it doesn't have VLC. It's not like you cannot watch videos with what they call Windows Media Player or whatever it is that they have. But you most likely install a music player, you install a video player because you want to improve the functionality of your laptop. You most likely install Corel Draw if you're into graphics. You most likely install Adobe Premiere Pro if you're into video editing. So that's the same way it is for plugins. So if I need a form on my website, for example, I can install a lot of form plugins. If I need a payment gateway, for example, I can look for a payment gateway plugins. And the good thing is that most of these, like anything you can think of, people have had that problem in the past and they have built plugins for it. So if I want to build an e-commerce website and I need PayPal, there's a PayPal plugin for WordPress, there's a Paystack for plugin, there's a Stripe plugin, there's a fact plugins are plenty gone. So, but let's look for Elementor here because that's the one we want to use. So Elementor Page Builder. So once you search out Elementor Page Builder, you can install it. And once you install it like this, it doesn't take time and you just activate. That's how you would install any plugin out there. So it's telling us to get the pro version. I have the pro version. The pro version is about $49 per year, I think. But this is something that you can easily add to the fee of your clients that want to build the website. You can easily add it to their bill. So now, if you have the pro version of Elementor, you will not find it on the WordPress dashboard. And that's because the plugins that you will find inside the WordPress dashboard are free ones. So the plugins you will find are the free ones, the ones that are very free. But if you want like pro versions of plugins, you would have to pay for them and upload them maybe with their zip file. So that's what we're going to do, upload plugin here. So upload plugin, you browse the file, that you are looking for the zip file. I know where it is on my laptop, so I will not be looking for it too much like that. It's on downloaded, pressed. Hey God, Elementor, come out wherever you are. Elementor. Okay. Sometimes I can even search for it. Sometimes I forget these things. So I can open it and just click on install now. So that's another way you can install a plugin. And this goes for a theme too. So whilst you will get on the dashboard, you get very free ones, the ones that are free. You can also use this method to install a plugin. So I'll click on activate. So once I've clicked on activate like this, it should activate it for me. Let's wait for it to be activated. Yes, so we are done activating. So we have done the first thing that we need to do, that is install Elementor Page Builder. Install Elementor Page Builder. Now, the next thing that we need to do is get a theme. Now, I know you would say, actually, you say we don't need theme that will build from scratch. Yes, I know I said that. Now, the theme that you're going to be getting is the theme that is produced by Elementor themselves. Now, that theme is a blank theme. I'll show you why. I'll show you what the theme looks like now. It's a theme that does not come with any pre-made components or any pre-made design or style. But the reason you need it is because the way WordPress works, you have to have a theme installed. That's just the way WordPress works. WordPress cannot work without a theme. So what is in the Elementor's default theme builder is that the base, what you just need, the minimum basic requirement for having a theme installed, but you will still control what it will eventually look like. Now let's see it in action. So I'll go to appearance, go to themes, and click on add new. And then all I'm looking for is Hello Elementor. Now it's a very popular one and you can install it. So first I've installed Elementor free and pro version. And the next thing is that I've installed Hello Elementor. Now if you go to our home page and see what our home page looks like, we'll see that it's just a basic, just something very basic. Now this is what it looks like. It's not fine at all. There's nothing there. It's not fine. So we are going to work on our client's design or work with our client's design to be able to create what they want with this stuff. And should take us about like the next 1 hour if we have the time to do it. So another good thing about working with Elementor is the fact that you can work with responsiveness and all those stuff. You can do it yourself. So responsiveness is a very, very important aspect of web design because people will be viewing your websites from different devices. So even if you are building with a desktop, you want to ensure that anybody that's viewing it on a mobile phone can do so comfortably. So you can also control the way your website displays. For example, you can hide elements on desktop, show them on mobile, just like the way you would do when you are coding, that you are showing some things as some breakpoints, and you are hiding some things as some breakpoints. You can do that comfortably with Elementor. It's very intuitive. Now, let's close up some of the pages or some of these tabs that we don't need because it looks like my laptop is already crying. Yep. Let's close up some of the things that we don't. Just close up some of the things that we don't. So, okay. Don't need you too. I think we are good. First one. Okay. So let's now look at it now. Where is Bogo? Now this is what we have. And one of the first things that you do when you're working with the Figma design, now irrespective of what framework or what technology you're using to build it, is you're going to be looking for a design system to work with. A design system. A design system will tell you what fonts, what colors, and all those stuff. That's how we should properly be. Now, our clients have given us this design, and the UI design has been magnanimous enough to give us a couple of colors that are going to be that are used on this website. So we have light blue, green, light gray, blah blah blah. Yeah. So we also have the ability to do that with Elementor. That's set up your custom colors. And the reason you are doing this is because when you set your global colors, if anything changes or needs to change, you have a central place that you can change it. And every element that you have given that color to can change instantly. So even if you have done 100 pages and you have used that color on like 1,000 components on across the 100 pages, you will be able to change it in that one place and it will affect all of them. Same thing with fonts. If you define your global fonts, you will be able to use those fonts. I'll use that font everywhere, and you can change it. If you change it once like this, to affect all of them. So let's see, they have given us headings like this, and they have given us paragraphs, and they have also given us color styles. So let's go into Elementor. For example, let's go to our dashboard. So if you go into your dashboard, you go to create a page. Let's say our home page now. So add a page, and we're going to say home page or home. Then just publish that page. Now, when you publish the page, it tells you that the page has been published. Now you can go to edit with Elementor. Now, if you click on edit with Elementor, it will open up the Elementor's workspace for you to work with. Now, if you're on the Elementor's workspace, this is what it looks like. Now, this is the theme. We have installed that theme. And imagine what that theme looks like. You see that it's basically a blank canvas for you. So you have the header here that just displays just the title and the name of your website. And then this is the footer too. Then the inside is you that owns it. So you can also create the header, create the footer, just break a leg. But on the left-hand side here, you see that Elementor has given us a couple of widgets. So these are the widgets that we use to do whatever it is that we want. If you want the heading, just drag and drop it. That's your heading. It comes with every possible widget that you will need to create a website. So you have inner section here, which is like containers. Now, if you also go back to this, you have text editors, which is paragraph. You have buttons. You have video. You have everything. Now, this video, now, if I want to embed a YouTube video, all I need to do is drag that widget and put the link to the YouTube video here. It's as simple as that. If I want to embed a Vimeo video, it's as simple as that. Or a Dailymotion video or a self-hosted video. That's a video I have on my server. I just need to put the link. Now, aside these widgets that are on basic, you can also check if you have pro widgets. Now, Elementor has look great, carousel, post widget. If you want to embed posts as your articles on a particular page, that's what we are doing on the Learnonline stuff. So you build a page and then you just embed a post or a group of posts inside that page. You have gallery, you have forms, you have slides. There's a whole lot of them. Now, as someone that is just getting used to this, you don't have to memorize everything. There are some that I use often, and there are some that I didn't get to use at all. But then you can also put social media icons. You can put SoundCloud and all. Then you can also write HTML codes inside if you want to write HTML code for some whatever reason. You can write code inside if you want to write code inside. Now, aside those, you also see that if I click on a particular widget, I get to see content, style, and advanced. Now, Elementor gives you the ability to decide how an element would look like or a widget would look like. That's under style. The content of that widget, that's under content, and then some advanced options. So things like margin, paddings, things like positioning, whether you want the position to be absolute or fixed. You can put CSS ID or CSS classes there such that you can refer to these IDs or classes if you are doing custom CSS for yourself. Then you have motion effects where you can do entrance animations to fade in, to fade out. And in more advanced cases, you can also use animate on scroll, for example, if you want to use that AOS. Now, you also have transform. If you want to rotate, you want to flip, you have a lot of very, very cool stuff that you can do. Now, the constituents of the content and the style would depend on what widget you're working with. Now, I'm working with a text widget. You can see the edit heading. So it's telling me what to type. And if I want to edit heading, I would like to just click it. Welcome to our website. It's as simple as that. Brethren, it's as simple as that. Now, if I wanted to link anywhere, I come here, I paste my link here. Now, apart from the size, I can also check the HTML tag. If I want it to be H1 to H6, I can put anything I want there. Then the alignments, align center, align to right, justify. Very simple. Now, if I go to style, what options are available to me? Now, for style, I can go here and say, oh, I want to do anything for the colors. It's very easy. For typography, I can come here and say, oh, I want to use so and so. And you can also install custom fonts. You can also install custom fonts on the WordPress dashboard. So you can come here, dozens and dozens of fine, beautiful fonts. Click on it, the font has changed. It's very simple. You can change the weight of the font. You can transform it to uppercase. You can style it, click, the likes, all those cool stuff that you should have. Now, aside this, when you go, you can also do text stroke, text shadow, and the likes. But if I go to buttons, for example, you can see that the things that I need for content of a button is what I have on my content tab. So I can change the text. I can say, get started. Get started. Now, I can also put the link. I want to link to Facebook. All I do is facebook.com. Facebook.com. Very simple. Now, you can also click on link options if you wanted to add no follow for SEO reasons, or you want it to open in a new window. It's that simple. You can put an icon in front of your, you can put an icon to the button. So Elementor also comes with an icon library that you can put any icon here. So most times, if you want people to get started, you're probably looking for a right arrow icon like this, and you insert it. Now, if you want the arrow to stay after it, that's it. You can now do icon spacing. It's very easy. All these things are way it will take way longer if you were coding this. So this is what we have. So let's assume that this is our nonsense that is our website that we have built. We can come down here and do what? An update. When I update this, I can click on this eye icon here to preview my changes. Now, clicking on it, it opens up another tab. Now, the good thing about Elementor is that the tab that it will open for you would be like when you are using Live Server with VS Code. With any change you make here, like this, with every change you make, once you click on updates, the page automatically refreshes on your own, on its own rather, and you will see changes. So if you keep this other part, most times if you're working with like two different laptops or two different screens, you can have this one on one side and you keep working on this one. Immediately you hit update, it refreshes it. Very simple. Now, I did mention that there's a place for you to set your custom styling a bit. Yes. Now, if you are with this one, remember that when I wanted to style this guy to black, I did go to style, then change the color here. Now, there's no harm in that. But the problem is, and when I also want to change the typography too, I changed it at the widget level. Now, the best thing for you to do when you want to start a new project is to set these things, not at the project level, but at a global level. And that's because if you set it at the widget level, you have to do so for each individual widget that you do. So let's say I have welcome to our website as like on the hero section. If I need to add another edit somewhere else on that page or on my website, one thing is I can right click on this and duplicate it, no doubt. I can duplicate it. I can also, for example, drag an heading here, and I can right click on this and say copy, and just let's click on it and paste style. It will paste the style. But what happens if my client comes tomorrow and says, oh, we made a mistake. Instead of using this font, we want to use poppins. Do you know what that will cause? It will mean that for every instance of the heading widget that they have told me to change, that we want our headings to be poppins, I have to come here one after the other to come and start looking for poppins. I come here, poppins. I have to go to this one too again, poppins, or I'll copy here and paste the style again. So imagine if I have like dozens of pages and I have to do that. So that's why you want to set it at the global level, such that if your client comes and says poppins, I don't know why now. You can even charge them and tell them, it's going to take me a lot of time. Don't you know how long it took me to? Yes, you will just go to that central piece. You just change it, poppins. Every instance of the widgets on your website that uses that particular styling instruction, just change. So let's see how you can do that. Now, if I update this and I go to and I click these three hamburgers here. Now, this one here is to show the widget panel. This one here is to give some settings. Now, I can go to site settings. I will see global colors, global fonts. Global colors, global fonts. I also have theme styles. Now, you can put off these global colors, global fonts if you don't like it. You can put stuff. Then you also have typography here. where you can set the typography of your website to be a particular thing. So you see that as I set Taoma now, or let me say as I set Poppins, on my body fonts, you see that these guys have changed. These guys have changed. Now, these ones did not change because we had set a particular directive for them on the widget level. So it means that when you set styling for a particular widget or a group of widgets at the global level, if you come into that an instance of that particular widget and you set that one itself at the widget level, the styling you give at the widget level will take precedence. So let me reiterate. So if you have said that I want all my headings to be poppins, if you now take a single heading widget and now say you must be Montserrat, that Montserrat is going to be the one that it will be. Now, there are instances or cases where you want to style a particular widget differently. It's good. But if you look at your project holistically and you see common patterns, common color, even if they don't give you a style guide, if you see common colors, create them globally. If you see common stylings for your typography, create them globally. You cannot take the ones that are just different slightly and style them differently. This helps you for better management of your project. And although it can take time and look like you are wasting your time at the beginning, it will help you for smooth, it will help you as you go on with the project. So let's set up our default colors now. For our default colors, we can go to global colors here. Instead of this primary color that is here, like this, let's add a new color. So we can go to bold. They have given us light blue. I don't know where they use light blue here. Or they also use green. So let's click on this stuff here and just grab the green and go back into our edit mode. You can add a color, just double click here, just put green. So these are custom colors for us now, according to what our UI UX designer has given us. So our UI UX designer also gave us light blue. So we'll come here again, carry our light blue, go to home. Double tap here, write it lights, hey, I go school, lights. So light blue, you give it here again, come here, that's your light blue. So what else did they give us? They give us light gray. Can carry our light gray like that, light gray. Type here light gray. We're basically just replicating what they have given us in Figma. So dark blue, come here again, but it's definitely dark blue. Dark blue. Yep. Then what other one they give us? Gray blue. Come here, gray blue. So like I said, this can look like you're wasting your time or not, but trust me, I've been in situations where this has saved me so much and it has given me more money, at least a little money, to tell the client, this thing I have done is going to take me a long time to do. Why didn't you say it since we have gone so far in the development process? So so then it's just a nice thing to have. Then white. So white is normal white, FFF. Or what's that white? FFF. So just put it there. I will put it at white. So for these guys, no, let's see. Sorry. So we have our default colors. Now if I go away from here, I can click on any one now, for example, and click on text color. You already see what we have. So green, light blue, light, this everything. We can just make it like this, light blue. Now, if I give this guy to light blue, okay, let me see, gray blue rather. That's gray blue, right? If I go to the settings, for example, when our client has come to tell us that gray blue color is no longer our color, whatever. I click on this gray blue and I make it black. You see what's happening? So for every instance that I've given this color, all of them will change. one of them will change for every of the widget they are put. So that's the same way it works with the fonts now. We'll see the typography aspect. So let's return our gray blue to what it should be. Where's our gray? Gray blue, gray blue, gray blue. Okay. So gray blue. Okay. So let's update this. Now let's go into our global fonts. Now we have primary, we have this, blah blah blah. They have also given us headings. So text Excel, text X, whatever. So this text Excel, if we do it like this, we have text Excel. Then go to home. Let's add the style. Text Excel. So what are the properties that we have for this text? So basically we have man row, regular, 36, 56. So we can also put the same thing here. We can say what we want is man row, size 36. The line height is 56. Line height 56. Let's see. Line height 56. Regular is 400, I guess. Yeah, regular is 400. That's normal. So normal, update it. So now what we can do is that we can close this guy now and then go into this and just click on typography here. You see text Excel. Can give you text Excel. Can come to this one now and do a typography, text Excel. Now, if I update this and go back into my default colors and font, that's my global fonts now. If for whatever reason my client has come up and say, that text Excel is too big, anything I do, see, so also is happening. Now I can also come here and change it to another font. It will affect every instance of it. So that's just the way that one works. So let's discard this. So we are doing our intermediate, our like foundation, so that by the time we just start the project, it will be just sweet. So let's go to global fonts again. Text Excel, then we want to go to text large. So text large is going to be Manro regular 2848. So let's go to text large. Manro regular 2848. So Manro 28, yeah. Regular 28, then line height 48. So with that, we can check add another custom style. Go here, and these are for our headings here. So you can come here and say text XXL. So 48 and 72. 48 and 72. So come here. 48. We go here, we say 72. And then we come here. Remember, it's man row we're using. Man row. Yes. And then you can come here again and take our text XXL, which is 64 and 84. So you can come here, add style, 64 and 84. So man row 64, and line height will be 84. So we have succeeded in doing all our headings, and we're left with our paragraphs. So text medium, text small, text Excel. So this is 24 and 36. 24 and 36. So 24 and 36. So man row 24. Don't worry, we're almost done. 36 and text small and extra small. So text small 20 and 32. So text small 20 and then scroll down to 32 and the weight to be normal. Yes, font to be marked. So almost at the last one. Let me see. Did I put this one? I didn't do this one. Normal. text Excel, and weight should be normal. Yeah. So the last one now is text mode. That's 16. So this most like our body text, our normal paragraph. So 16. So let's go. Add a new one. Then font family manual. Then weight to be 400. I think 16. No. There's 16 and then 28. Yes. So now we are done with all the preliminary stuff that we need to do. And then you can also look at it. You can also go to your buttons. If you have your button components and see that your button component looks alike, like these guys here. So you can see that their buttons are kind of different. So you might just leave buttons alone for now. So let's go back to our home page and start the design proper. So we can remove these guys. After removing them, we have the home page, and how do you just get rid of these guys? So one thing we can do is go on to settings here, then scroll all the way down till you get to page layout. So for page layout, you can set Elementor canvas or Elementor full width. Now, Elementor full width is that page layout that gives you header and footer. But because we don't want to be distracted right now, we can put it to Elementor canvas. Now, Elementor canvas will just give you a canvas, like a blank white sheet. It will hide the header and the footer. It will hide them, keep them hidden. So we can update this. Now, in some cases, when you're building with Elementor, there's some pages that don't even need header and footer. For example, if you want to build a coming soon page, or our website is under maintenance, you most likely don't need the header and the footer. So whilst the header and the footer will show up on all the other pages when you're designing, Elementor also gives you a way for you to set a coming soon page that only people that are logged in will see the real thing you're building. So if you're working for a client, as you're working for this client like this now, we can share them the URL to our website, but then we will not give them access because they will not be able to log in. What they will see is coming soon. Oh, we are still working on this website. And in such instances, that page will be created as an Elementor canvas page because we don't want them to see the header and the footer. We also can use Elementor canvas to create a thank you page after people buy from your website. Let's say you build a shopping website and people purchase products, you want to give them, redirect them somewhere to say thank you. You can also use it, or an error 404 page. And if you create an error 404 page, most times you might just have a button that will say go back home, not necessarily the header and the footer. But let's just use Elementor canvas for now. So the first page we want to build is this place. How do we build here? So we have our logo, which is something I'm going to extract from here. And then we also, if you click on home page now, for example, we can see that the width of the whole canvas, that's the whole Figma, what the Figma people call it, the whole frame is 1,400. 1,400. But if you check the width here, you see 100. So we are going to be working with a maximum size of 1,400 with 100 pixels on the left, 100 pixels on the right. So this is very important for you to take note because when you are designing with people that will come from different screen sizes. Some people will come with very big screen, some people very small screens. So whatever it is that, and whatever measurements have been given here, that the measurement from one place to another is based off of a screen that is 1,400. So that's what you want to do if you want to create pixel perfect representation of what your client has given you. So take into consideration what their width is, 1,400. That's the width of the container. So it means that anybody that is viewing from a screen that is more than 1,400, what you will just see is space on the left and on the right. Now let me show you a good implementation of this for Paystack's website. So on Paystack websites, except for their header and their footer, they are using a container at the center that's about 1,200. So that's why if you are zooming out of Paystack, if you zoom out of Paystack's website, you will see this. It is centered. It is put at the center. The content remains at the center because that is the container they are using. Whatever design that has been given to whoever designed it or those that designed it is that 1,200. Now, if I inspect elements here, I can check it out. and check the width of this container. You have a container here. Modern, blah blah blah. Yeah, somewhere here. Yes. So this is the container large. This is container you're using. I can see that the maximum width is 1040 pixels. That's it. That's what they're using. So if I change this now, for example, to let's say 1440, it will expand. If I say that's the max width, it will expand. By the time you, or I say 1000, whatever, if I even say 140, you see it's shrinking because the container has been reduced. So for this our design, go to our Elementor page now, go to settings, site settings. We can scroll all the way to layouts, and then we set our content width to the size that they have given us. That's that 1000, what's it called? 1400, I guess. So they gave us 1400. Yes, that's all right. 1400. Yeah, 1400. Widget spacing, we don't need all the stuff. What other things do we need? Yeah, 1400. Yes, let's update. 1400. Yeah, that's good. Now, another thing that we want to do is go out of here. So now, any inner section or section that we create with Elementor now will have that width of 1400. That's going to be the default width. Then we can now go to advanced and add our paddings to it. Our paddings of 100 on the left and 100 on the right. Now, we're working with sections and columns with Elementor. You can use sections and columns if you want, or you can use something called Flexbox. So Elementor also comes with Flexbox containers that you can, but you need to turn that on. I'm going to turn it on because Flexbox is just a better way to go. So you can go to Elementor settings, features, and then go to Flexbox container and keep it active. So this way you can do everything that Flexbox has. The justify content, justify this, justify that, you can do it. So we're going to refresh this page. And when we are done refreshing it, we now have a particular widget called container. So we can throw in our container, and you see that the width of the container is locked at 1400. That's perfect. That's what we want. So we are moving, we're making progress. So let's go from containers here and see. For our the first container that we'll need here is this container now. That's our header. The header that will have the product services and all those ones, and then the logo. So let's take our client's logo. On Figma, if you click, the way they did it, you'll be able to export their logo. So you probably want to just export their logo in PNG, in SVG. Just export it in SVG, not PNG, because SVG is better. So what I will do is that I have this top section, and I will put in my image widgets. Click on this and drag and drop my client's logo. Now, don't forget that you don't want logos like this, all this naming. What you want is bold, maybe light logo. And in your alt text, you want to say logo or bold. That's our clients. So then you select it. Now, this is their logo. That's the first thing that we need there. So you can see that inside the container, we have from our navigator, we have an image. Now, the other thing that we need to have is this second place that contains our URL, our navbar, and our button. So how do you do that? So if you're working with Flexbox normally, you know that you probably need two different containers. So you need three containers rather. You need the parent container, and then you need one container on the left, one container on the right. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. So I'll go to my widgets, take in another container inside this, and then duplicate this container. Take Bodo, which is our logo, and put it here. Now, from our navigator, we see that we have a parent container. We have a parent container. If I expand it and I say I have a container here and I have a container here. Now, the good thing about Elementor is that you can name these. So just like you can give a name. So I can say this is my nav bar. I can say this is my nav bar. I can say this is my logo container. Now I'm doing this by just double tapping. I can say this is my nav item container. Now it's empty. So logo container, nav item container. You see how wonderful Elementor is and WordPress in general. It's very, very sweet. So I can click on this. I have my logo container here and I have my navbar container here. But the problem is that they are stacked up on top of each other, but we want them to stay side by side. And that's because right now, this particular navbar is set to flexbox column. So now, if I click on the navbar, under layout, I can come here and check my flex direction. I say row. So you see, it stays side by side. And I can also come here to say justify content. I want it to be justified where space between. If I want to do space between, then align items, I can say I want it to be at the center. So align items center. That's anything you can do with code. Just think about this, you can do here. So the next thing we want to do is just get these guys 1, 2, 3. Now product, services, about, right, and a button. So let's first include our button. We'll just look for the button widget and we put it here. Let's just say that's our button for now. Then the next thing we want to do is add those menu items. Now we have not created those separate pages. So how do we add them as menu items? If you go into your dashboard, you can go and create those pages. Just create them as blank pages. You don't need to create anything here. So what our clients has told us is that they need products, services, and about. So we can click products, we can create products page, publish it. We can come here, add new page, products. The next one will be services. Services, publish it. Then you can come to add new and say about. Now, we have our collection of pages, but how then do we now make this collection of pages into a nav item, into nav items, into a nav bar? If you go to appearance, you will see menus. Now, I think this page has not saved. Finish. So let me just publish it. Okay. So if you go to appearance, you go to menus, you'll be able to add anything to your menu. Now, the first step to creating your menu is giving it a name, because your menu, you can have so many menus. You can put some on your header, some on your footer, some anywhere you like. So you see that this place is grayed out. But if I click on it, I say custom menu and click on create menu now. Once I click create menu, you see that this place lights up. So I can add pages, I can add posts, I can add categories, I can even create custom links. Now, if I were to be creating a blog website, it is my categories that I will do, that I will add. That's where something like Punch has history, politics, international, blah, 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 and all those ones. But I'm not creating a blog website. So I need pages to actually be the constituents of my menu. So I can go to my pages. I will see the pages I just created recently. So I can do what? I can say about, services, products, add them to my menu, and then save them. Yes, the recording should be available to you now. Definitely. So I click on save menus, and then I can come here, refresh this page. Once I refresh the page like this, I can I can look for the menu widgets, WordPress menu, just by searching WordPress menu, and then I can now get my about, product, services, blah blah blah, and put it here. So about, services, products, then the button. So this is what I want. Quite all right. I want this now, but I want them to also be side by side. So I can click on my nav menu container, click on fresh direction group, and then I can click on align items center so that they are centered like this. Now the other thing I can do is just justify them end. So they'll be at the end. Now I can come here and make the full width, go to my advanced and unlock any padding that is there. Same thing I will do for this one. That's the other container, and I will unlock it like this. So I have basically my nav bar is ready. Basically, except for some styling issues. Now, what else do we need to do? What we need to do is probably reduce this guy here, because it's just having only the logo. So if you go to layouts, we can see the width here. Keep it full width, but we can also reduce it by percentage. Hey, you don't need to be that wide. And as you reduce this percent here, the other one will take up the remaining space. the other ones, if there are three, once you reduce one, the other two would enlarge to take up the remaining space. So what you need to now do is go to menu. Let's check what our clients use. They use white. So this will just need to be white. And then our button is also going to be white. But we cannot do that here because we need to have this transparent section under. So we'll just do what? Go here to export. Let's see. There's this blue on here. We can easily create those ones ourselves because this is the color here. But let's check the height. The height is 798 pixels. 798. So we can come home here. This will create another one that is like this. That's the container down. Under height, we want to give it 798. Now, for colors, we want to go to style, background type. Under background type, you can choose whether you want a gradient or a video or a slideshow. But what we want is color. So remember that we can click on default and scroll down and then get our dark. So we have our dark blue. We have our dark blue. Now, the next thing for us to do is to make this section at the top overlap. How do you do that? Now, click on this guy here and let's check something. Let's see. We have like this space up here, 56 pixels, whatever it is that you have here. I think it's 56 pixels. So we can click on this nav menu. This is our nav bar at the top here, and say we want to negative margin bottom. Negative margin bottom. So we can give it a minimum height of, let's say, 150. Oh, that would be too much, like 100. Let's say 100. Yes, and go to advanced. Then give it a negative margin bottom of that 100. So what we are doing is that the height of that particular navbar, we want to make that height also the negative margin bottom of that height so that it can overlap on the preceding, on the subsequent section. But you can see that our logo is not showing. And the way to fix that in normal CSS is to do Z index. So we can click on this navbar and go to advanced and you will see Z index. So with your Z index, you can improve, the Z index as much as you want. You like give your header 1000. So you see that we're already making sense. Now the next thing we want to do is click on these guys, come to style, check what our client has given us from here. And we have seen that this is Open Sans semi-bold. So they styled this a little bit differently. So this is Open Sans semi-bold, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I need to do. Come to our home, go to typography, Open Sans semi-bold, but then it has to be white. See, Open Sans semi-bold, it has to be white. Now, these buttons also has to be color white. So what we'll do is go to border radius and just improve the border radius to make it circular like that. And then this is the color, we make it white. And then we make the text inside. The text inside will be, I think that's our dark blue, as you can see here, dark blue. So go back to Elementor and then we make the background, not the background color now. The text color should be dark blue. So instead of click here, we just have login. Now, this is what we have. I want to ensure that we have Open Sans bold 16 pixels. So we can come here and still go to our styling. Go here to Open Sans. Open Sans semi-bold. Now, we have this, but it's not still enough already. We're just getting started. Now we have this circle here. We can export this eclipse. We can export this eclipse, and then we have the eclipse available to us. So you can go back home, still on this container now. Elementor gives us the ability to set background overlays. So I can even do something apart from this color here. I can come here and say an overlay. Background type, click on this and import that eclipse. So instead of calling it eclipse, I can just say hero section eclipse. instead of just normal Eclipse. So I will know where I used it. Now, because it is not, it is just for graphical purposes. It's not really doing anything apart from just being graphical. We might not need to add our alt text. So I'll select this, and you see the way it is all over the place, but we want it just at this angle. So just the way you can set background style, attachments, position, and all those things in normal CSS, you can do it here. So our background position will just be center, it will be top center, or top right rather. Want it at the top right, and then the display size. We want to set the display size to is it cover? No, default. I set it to default, and then it repeat. We don't want it to repeat. So once it has no repeat, then if we do it like this, you will see that we have it staying here, just like our client has given us their own design. So the next thing we need to do is the contents, the actual content of this landing page. So the first thing we have is this one. So this one has said they're using headings text Excel. Let's click it again. Text Excel. And then what we need to do is just go here, on the second section now. That's the other second section. It's now overlapping. Take our text. So before taking our text, we can put two containers inside it. So the first container, and then we duplicate for the second container. So we can click on the parent container. Instead of letting it stack up like that, we can say it should be like this. So this is the way we want it. I want them to align at the center like that. So click our text heading, and we want to make it what? Go to style, typography, text XX. Is it text XXL? Yes, text XXL. So come here like this. So this is what we have. So instead of this default color that we are given, we want it to be our plain white. So the copy is save time by building fast with Bodo template. So we can, I'm ready for how to just copy this text. Yeah, that's it. Then we can come to content, save time by building with Bodo template. But right now you can see that, let's see. Regular. Yeah, same time by building fast with Bodo template. So that's the same thing we want to do too. But we want to break it also. So we can use the BR by building fast. So we can use BR just like our client has written. Okay, no, building fast. So speak before the fast. Building fast. Yes, with Bodo template. So let's check this out and let's see if is it 4872. So 4872 regular. So that's what we have to 4872. But the weight should be normal. Yeah, this is what we have. Now the other thing we want to do is this one should be left aligned. So it's on this side. It's perfect. So the next one to do is this guy here, and it is text access. So the same thing. For text now, you need to use your text widgets. So for your text widget, use your text editor. And for that text editor, I'll just put it here. And then I can write like this. Come to my style, text color, white. I need white text. Then I can come to typography and say text, what name we use. Text XS. Do we have a text XS? Oh, looks like okay, text access. So this is what we have. Now we also want to break the text exactly where our client has broken it. So that's this thing, partnership. So the same thing we want to do here, partnership. So go to text, partnership, like that. As simple as that. So this is what we have, and then the next thing we have is these two buttons here, buy templates and explore. So we can steal this guy here, copy him, just put a separate container since it's supposed to contain two stuffs. So paste one and then paste again. Then inside the container, we can remove any paddings or margins, then make them like this. Simple. So after making it like that, you want to buy templates. So this is Open Sans Old 20. So that's what we're going to do. We want this one to be buy templates. Buy templates. Open Sans 20. That's his buy template, Open Sans 20. And then we want it to be green. And we already have this color saved in our color background. So this is the green, like this, just like our client wants. And we can also check, so 56, 56, 16, 16. So we can come to padding, 56, 56, then 16, 16. So that's by template. And then the other one is just explore. So for this other one, we can copy here and paste that. Now this guy just needs to explore, and then it needs to have the color at like transparent. But then because the color is transparent, the text color needs to be white, and then border type needs to be solid, like this. So this is what we have here. And what we need next is just this guy here. So this is just an image that we can export. So hero graphics. And then you can come to the home page. Have this. Click on it. Bring in your hero graphics. And then select. You can do one more thing. Go to the width and just place it, and voila, you have your home page ready. Now you have your header ready. Sorry, you have the header ready. So one other thing we can do is yeah, we have it ready. So if we check it out, you see that we have exactly what our clients want from here. This is the design they have given us. We have been able to design exactly what they have given us. Now the next thing is to design this next section. So design this next section. To design the next section, we can call this hero section. Double tap so that we know where we are working with. We can call this hero section. So it's very simple. Just click on this. And this next section will be our let's say our services section. So we can call it services. Services. So what are the things we need for this section? We can look at it. We need this container that will contain the heading side. That will be our service service. Then we need 1, 2, 3. That's 3 other. We need the section that will contain these 3 other guys. So we can have our services. So let's put the first container here to hold the headings and duplicate this container that will hold the other 3 stuffs. But we want them stacked up on top of each other now. So we can come to here and flex them like this. Now, what we want to add is our services, which is what's the styling for our services? Let's see. Yes, text small and it's gray. So we can come here, get a text editor, and then come to style. The style should be gray, and then typography should be text small. So you should read our services. Our services. Period. So the next thing we want is this one. Yeah, that should be text XXL. That's handshakes, infographics, blah blah blah. So you can basically just copy this one here and paste it here. And let's check. Now, one other thing you want to do is that every of the heading that you'll be adding will be H2, but you don't want H2 because H2 should not be more than 1. H2, H1 should be more than 1. That's the most important part of a page. The rest can be H3. Now, this is just an SEO thing. The rest can be H3, H4, H5. But the most important ones will be H1. Then the next important one will be H2. But don't let H2 be many on your page because you'll be confusing like the crawler bots that want to crawl your website. They don't know which one is the most important part of that page. So, or the most important header of that page. So what we want to do here, let's copy this our guy here. That's this text. Handshake infographics. Yes, that's handshake infographics. I want to make the color to be, let me see, why does it look like it's black? I think it's black, then text Excel. So we want to call it black. I want it to be text XL. So typography, text XXL. Is it text XXL? Yeah. So we forgot to put our weight at 400. So we just put at 400. Now, when you have this, you can also do something that's break it at markets. So when we go to edit, you can break it at markets here. That's break it at markets here. That's this, then you center it. Now, what can we do to bring them at the center? Since it is a flexbox container, we can say we want it to be column like this, or justify it at the align it at the center. That's what we have like this. Align it at the center. Now we can also talk about the gap between them. And you see that it's almost like what our client has given us. Now, another thing we have to consider is the space from here to here, which is 84 pixels. So we have to ensure that we're creating a very, very good design for our clients. 84 pixels. Now, how do we do that? We can come here to this and make sure that the padding on the top is 84 pixels. Yes, this is exactly what we want for our clients. Now, I made a mistake earlier, and that is that I'm using the 1400, but I'm not adding the 100 by the left and the right as padding. So we can add the 100 on the left and 100 on the right, like as our clients are doing us. So we can also come to this hero section and do the same thing on the hero section. Elements coming here, hero section. You can come here, move the paddings, 100 on the left, 100 on the right. So that's what we can be using for all of them now. So come here, 100 on the left, 100 on the right. Now the next thing is to put these guys here. So we have an image, a title, a what's it called, a paragraph, and we have the explore page. So the next thing to do is that Elementor has an icon, an image box. So an image box is a widget that contains those three things. It contains an image, an heading, and a paragraph. So it makes it easier for us to use it. So let's export the three images that our clients have given us for this section. That's this one. So just export it. Click on the second one to export it. Then click on the third one and also export it. Now, these are being exported as SVG. So let's go back to if you're working with SVG or the WordPress, you might not want to install because SVG has some security concerns. So if you want to upload it, for example, to tell me it's not allowed for security reasons, don't panic. I'll show you how to do it. So let's just select this one first. So we have this image, and then the next thing we need is full feature title, which is text M, and then this one, which is text S. So that's what we need to do. So we need to set our heading to, we go to style for the image box. We see content, and then title is text M. Yes, and your description is text S. Okay. Let me see. Text M and text S. Yes. So this one is supposed to be black and this one is supposed to be gray. So that's what I'm going to do. So this guy is supposed to be black and this guy is supposed to be gray. Basically. So full feature title, we don't even need to use the title again. Just leave it. So the next thing we want is a button. So this explore page is basically a button. And how do we add it? So we just go here, add a button to it. Now this is a button. So I've added the button. I want to say explore. And after saying explore, we want the arrow. We can say right. then we can insert it here like this. So we want it to appear after. So once it appears after, the next thing we want to do is that we don't want it to have any color at all. So we can remove the color. Now, when we remove the color, you see that we can't see it at all. So we have to change this to one of our colors that we already have. So let's change the color, the text color. So if we change the text color to, I think it's one of the blue, I think it's dark blue. So we have our explore. Now you can see. Now we also want to remove the padding, and then we want that line under, so we can do solid. But the solid will just be bottom. We just want one small something at the bottom. Do you see? Now we can also give space by giving that padding at the bottom, and then remove the border radius. Now we have explore like this. Now the other thing that we can be conscious about is Open Sans bold 20. That's what they gave us. So we can go again into the button, the typography. We say Open Sans bold 20. Open Sans bold, then 20 pixels. Now, this is what we have. This is what our client has given us. And the good thing is that with this, we can create the other 3 ones that we need. Now, let's just create a container to cover this guy. So I'll drag him into this container. I'll also drag this guy into this container. Now, once we have him inside this container, it means that we can duplicate this container into 3 cells. So 1, then 2. Now we have 3 of them. Now the other thing we now need to do is that the parent container needs to be flexed like this. They need to be flexed like this. Now, apart from flexing this, we need to align them to the left-hand side. So how do we do it? You click on the image box, and then you can see a place that says content. Yes, when you go to style, and you start like this. Then for the image, we can put the image width to be full. So this is how full the image width can be. It can be fuller than this. I don't know why. That's the way our clients see images. So it's just like that. So let's full. Now, apart from being full, like we can now copy this and paste style and paste style. So you see that we have the other section that our client has given us like this. So you see that it's coming out really, really nice. And it's coming out really nice. And then if I carry this guy here, learning curve, whatever, I take it here to this one, and I put his learning curve, come here and break it at effects. So I'm supposed to break it at effects. So we still use our BR. So that's it. This is a BR, and let me duplicate this one instead. Okay, not duplicate this one. Let me duplicate this one instead, so that we have something that looks like what our clients want. Yes, let me delete this one. What? Okay. Delete this one and delete this. So we already have something that looks like what our clients want from us. And we can also check some of the spacing here. So I can do this. Click on this guy and check that the spacing is 8. So with the space between the top here and the top here should be 80. Now these are some of the things that little things that tell you apart as a developer. If you're able to keep this attention to details, the spaces that need to be from one place to another, keep it like that. So this gap, we can make it 80. Then it will also be good for you to have, or let me see 70. It's also good for you to have extensions like rulers that can help you measure these things when you're working, especially when you're working with the Figma file. So you can see that on Figma, it's telling me, this is telling me it's 96 pixels. So that's because there are some extra spacings that we don't need. For the sake of our time, I will just be breezing through. But when you're working with a new design, always ensure that you are using something like this to measure the spaces between your widgets, such that you have a very, very accurate design. So as you can see this now, and you can see this, then the next thing our client wants is this section. So this section and this section are much alike. So it's something that we can easily breeze through. So still have people on this thing. Okay, the name of the extension is sorry, let me even check it. Measure it. Measure to measure something. Measure it. That's the name of the extension. Measure it. That's the name of the extension. Okay, noted. So let's go fast. So those of you that are still on this call, thank you so much. We have past 2 hours, and I want us to just at least just do this whole page. So, oh, we are just two now. Are you guys still here with me? Hello, are you guys still?
Yeah.
Yes. No vex. No vex. So you don't. It's a lot of stuff to try to cover in one class, and though we even started yesterday. So now let's go to our next section here. Always inspect the section you are going to do. So we need one container here, and we need one on this underside, and we need one on this side. So we need a parent container, and then just like parent div, we need a left-hand side div and a right-hand side div. So it's very simple. So for this one, it's just an image on this side. Now we can group these two together and export it from a Figma file. So if you go here and export it, we have that image. Now for the next one, we need an heading, and this icon stuffs here at the bottom. It's very simple. So let's see how we can do it with Elementor. So I have my parent container already. I put my one container, I duplicate the container. So you see that's left and right. Now on the first container, what I need to do is add an image. Then when I click on it, the image that I've done, I import it. Now follow all the best practices for importing images by putting title and alt text. But I will skip that and just put the image. Now the next thing that we want to do is add the title like this. Just add the title, copy it and paste it. Remember that I said that this one now doesn't need to be H3, it can be H4. So we go here, after adding our title, we also need a start now button. Now we have created a button before on our web page, so we don't need to start creating ourselves again. We can just create this one, paste it. Now let's grab the content. We connect customers, blah blah blah. Now we connect customers. Sorry. We connect our customers. So we break it down customers and them. So I'm going to be breaking it as customers and them. So quick like this. I'm going to break it as customers. I'm going to break it at them. Yeah, I'm going to left align it. Now, aside that, we can check that it is text Excel. So we can come here, go to style, and go to typography and give it text Excel so that it's small. Now, our button is still going to be styled, but let's leave that one. We need this check mark and this one, check mark and this one. Now, how do we do that? Now, Elementor has what they call an icon box, icon list rather. So you can put it here, see an icon list with a checkbox inside it. So we can come here, look for a checkbox, say check, and then insert it. Now, our check icon, when you go to style, it needs to be our dark blue icon. Now, our text needs to be what? Text S. So we connect our customers, but this will be duplicating this one. We go to edit icon list and we click on the items. We can edit it like this. We connect our customers. So we go to style, text, and then typography, text small. That's what we have. Now, our icon can also be increased as we like. So this is it. Now, that being said, you can go here and still check that it is black. So color black. So we go to style, go to text, and then make it color black. Now, that being that, as we have done that, all we need to is just duplicate this one like this. You don't even need to duplicate, just come here. See it. 1, 2. Now, the next thing we need to do is get the actual space between these widgets. So if I hold down Alt and I over on this other guy, see it's 24. 24. So we can come to style, space between 24 pixels. Now, this 24 pixels might look like it's bigger than this one. Okay, I don't think it's bigger. I think it's 24. But you should also use your eye to gauge out. You use them for your own. But we also want to know the space between this one and this one. So you can come here. The first widget here is this, and yes, that's 40. So we want to make sure that it is 40. There is a space. So close here and then tap. and then we can come to this guy and go to advanced, margin top, put it at 40. Now, the other start now button, it should be white and dark blue. So we come here, white and dark. So go to button style. Text color should be white. Background color should be dark blue. Then it should be start now. Start now. Now we also want to we're also interested in doing the space from here to there, that's 56. So we can come here, go to this one, go to advanced on the button, unlock the margin, and go to 56. So now you would see that what we have, this place and this place, they are aligned center to each other. So how do we do that? We come here. Now they have a parent container. You know, you can say apart from this, you can come here and say align at the center. So this is what you have, center align. So that's what they have here, center align. So let's go here. Then we need to space it out from the top section, that's the preceding section. So I'll click on this guy here and just say 185. This is 185. So as the margin top. So I'll come here, go to my advanced, unlock my margin, and say 185. Now we have our section. Now I can align this one to the left so that it will be on the left hand side. And then if we fold our page now, this is what we have. You know, this is what we have. It's looking very nice already. Let me see. So there's still a lot of optimizations I would have loved to do with this thing, but as our time no grows like this, we can shift this on here and still increase this guy if it's something like this, or as our time no day, we just move on. So for this next section, you see that it's almost alike, so we just need to like flip things, switch things. So we'll carry this guy, exporting, I'll be exporter, come to our edit home page, duplicate this section by right clicking on it and duplicating it. Then we'll just take this one and put it here. Why is it like this one? So let me see where it is. Container to container. So just drag and drop. Bam. We don't put our there. We don't take our image. Put our image. Drag the other image inside. Now put it here. Bam. We don't get that one. So this one here. This one here. Now, what does this one say? It says we connect our the same thing. We connect our customers, advisor, and that. So we can see that if you check this well, it looks like it has some form of apart from the icon, it has some shadow or something. So let's see how we can achieve that. So for the first one that says we connect our blah blah blah, we have to create them independently. So we'll just remove it like this, and then we'll say width inline auto. Let's see. Let's put that. See what we have. Okay, so this feather icon, you might not be able to also get the feather icon like that. But what we'll do is that we can export it as a PNG or even, or as SVG rather. Export it as SVG. When you get it as SVG, if you cannot able to update it, you like just update the page. Go into your WordPress dashboard, install a plugin that will allow you to do SVG on WordPress website. So you can do SVG support. Now, sorry, I'm rushing because our time is almost like this fast spent. So we can install it, and then when you install it and activate it, you'll be able to use SVG on WordPress without having stress. So you don't need to refresh this page. When you refresh your home page, and already, if we come here to refresh our home page, you will see what the kind of you see what we have. See it here. See exactly what our client gave us. Now you can imagine if you wanted to use code to code this thing, how long it will take. it take you. In fact, it's not because of this class that we are doing. If I wanted to do this thing within 30 minutes, I don't finish up. For this page, this is one. I don't finish up already. Now, why are they always tell people say WordPress? That's increase you, especially if you can do what we are doing now. So we'll just put our SVG. I see that SVG has already imported, and then we can insert it down. So we see SVG, it has imported it for us, and then we need it to be color white, actually. So we can come here, go to our icon, and make it color white. But we need this background to be blue. So if you go to advanced, you can get background, and we need it to be that our dark. So you see it's dark blue. Now, apart from making it to be dark blue, or wait, yes, apart from making it dark blue, this is our icon. So we just remove color from color. Exactly. Then we want our text to also be white. Now, once our text is white, what we can do is that you said this guy is extending like this. We don't want it to extend. So we can go to advanced and just define a width for it and say instead of full 100%, we can put it at custom and then determine how many percentage of width we want. Like this, something like this. Now, if we click on this guy, we see that it is semi-bold 16. So that's what we want to do to semi-bold 16. Meanwhile, we can make it like still extend like this, but we want it to be semi-bold 16. So text, typography, semi-bold 16. Let me see. Wait. How do you look like this guy doesn't want to change? Semi-bold 16. Why is he angry with us? I'm coming. Typography. Okay. It's not changing. Doesn't want to change because text Excel. Let's use this one. This one is already 16 self. So that's what we have here. Now, another thing is that we need some padding. You see it? We need some padding. So 16 at the top, 16 at the bottom, and probably 53 on the left, then 20 on the right. So 60, 16, and 20 on the left. So let's go to padding for icon list. 20 rather on this side, 16 at the bottom, 16 at the bottom, 16 at the top, like this. Now, the next thing we need is border radius. Let's go to our client stuff and check the border radius of this. And you can see border radius somewhere here. Border radius somewhere. I think is coming. Border radius is 4. So 4. So you can just come here and put our border radius as 4. So once it's 4 like that, you can come to shadow. Under border, you have box shadow. You can give it a subtle shadow that is not too loud. Just use it. Small shadow. Now, to go here, you can also see that they have a drop shadow here. This is it. So blur is 32, Y is 40, and 4. So we can also do it like that. Our blur will be 32. So for blur, keep it at 32. Then for vertical, we keep it at 4. So that's the same thing that we have. So this is it. Very easy. Now, you can duplicate this guy, duplicate, and go into our client. And now just switch things over. So the space will be 24. So the same way, I'm just going to use the same thing. I'll just make this ones white. So you can get the idea. So now this guy, now I'll make them white. I'll make them white. We're not going to see this thing for the background. The background, I'll make it white. And I'll make the text to be blue. That our dark blue. Then for the icon, I'll just go for icon. So for so see icon here. And I'll make the icon also color blue, dark blue, like that. And I'll just reduce the size. Then I'll make the top instead of 40, I'll just make it 24. So I can copy and paste this guy, paste time like this. So you see what we have. Then there's no need for a start now button for there. So there's no need for a start now button. So this is what we have so far. And if I update my page and this guy and I review my changes, I'll see that from the very top to the bottom, this is what we have. just look at it. Something we did in minutes. And this is what our client is giving us to do. These are our client stuff. So, but I do think there's a lot of space between these two guys on our own design. If you look at it, so we can change that. We can change that by instead of 185 that we're giving there, we can check it. So the space between here and here is 120 actually. So we can come here to say 120. When you guys are ready to tired, just let me do. So, but now this is it. Yeah, like this, all looking good. Now the next section that we need is testimonials. Let's see, testimonials section. So for testimonial section, we just need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 box. And how do we do this? Elementor has a testimonial section, testimonials widget also. So we click here. Once it's 9:30, we just end the stuff so that we can call it a day. So we have testimonials at the top here. So that's what we're going to do. We click on it, text XL. We have used that a couple of places, so I'll just copy this and just paste it here like this. Now, if I click on this one, I should be able to get the color, which is dark blue. And if I for this section right now, don't forget that we want to put 100 on the left, 100 on the right, according to our design. And then we also want to make it background type to be dark blue, like this, and make this white, of course, with testimonials. Testimonials. I also want to go to style, and we want to go to text color white, text color white, and then we want to go to typography text, what text XXL, text XXL, so testimonials. We want to make it a 400, and then we want to say at the center. So this section, close it. So this one, want to say align just 5 items center. Now the next thing is to have our testimonials. So these testimonials right now, and we can put it down. So this is what we have, testimonials, but we want 3. So it's best for us to put inside a separate container. So testimonials will be yeah, and then we can add a new container that will now add these testimonials inside so that we can make it 3. So I can click on my parent container and say column like this, and then align it. So this guy now can be at the center. So this is our testimonial. So for the testimonials, we need a text like this. We need a text. We need image, the title, and where the person is working. So let's just see how we can quickly do that one. For image, let's export one of the images from here. Export this Eclipse. Then go here. Select it. That's it. And then put it left aligned. Now, once it's left aligned, whatever text the person said, you can put it like this. So the text and the image. So all this is our widgets, Dumbledore. You can see this is Open Sans Code 16. So we can come to style. Not the name now. Open Sans Code 16. That's Open Sans 16 pixels old. So that's John Doe, and we want it to be color white. Now for the name here, we want it to be Open Sans regular and should be white distance. So for content title, we want it to be our dark blue, and we want it to be Open Sans this time, but we also want it to be 14 and regular. So it's normal here, 14. Now, after doing that, we want the background of our testimonial to be white. So go to background like this, testimonial to be white. So you see, so having been white, this guy should be the dark blue also. Sorry, I made a mistake. So go to style, go to name. This should be dark blue. And then what else do we need? Nothing. So WhatsApp network should be black. That's the content now, should be black. I think it's also Open Sans network. Open Sans. Like this. So Open Sans text M. Text medium. Like this. And let's see. Text medium, blah blah blah. So we're just going to create it into 3 now. So we have testimonial 1. Then we need to have a border radius on this guy, which is 12. Border radius, which is 12. So if we come to border, we can put it here 12. So you can see it's 12. And then we need some padding. We need some padding. So 40, 40, 40, 40, 40 all around. So we can come here and go to layout, go to padding, and then say you want to chain it. So you chain it into 40, 40. So that's what we already have here. So what else do we need to do? Just duplicate this guy. 1, 2, 3. Now, having done it like that, we can get a container that will now put everything inside. Let's get a container that will put everything inside. Yes, like that. Then this container can now be flexed. So this is what we now have. So if the container is flexed, you see that we already have what our client wants. Then all we need to do is check this container, put it like this, 92 at the top, and then the second one, 96 at the bottom. So this guy is going to have 92 and 96. So 92 and 96. So basically, this is what we're going to have. So if we update it to it's the same thing. So we're left with this section, which we may not be able to take now again because it's already 9:30. But all we have been doing since is something that you can do with even more complex designs. If you already have the experience on how to do it with Elementor, you can do it with a lot of mad designs. Yeah, but I hope I've been able to see the thought process that you put in if you wanted to use Elementor, and also open our eyes to some of the possibilities that you can have with Elementor. So I know some people may have thought that something like this, that it might not be easy to use Elementor and WordPress to even do it at all. So I've seen many developers take on designs that I feel like if they knew how to use WordPress, they just use WordPress because it saves you a lot of time. You know, for landing pages like this, there's no login, there's no logout, there's nothing. It's just like designed. So just use WordPress. It makes it easier for you. It makes it easier. So I might do a second part like separately, not need for a webinar that contains how to complete this. Yeah, how to complete this. But if you watch this video, then you can take on different challenges like creating websites that you see. So in WP Learnonline, bootcamp that I run, some of the practicals that our students do is to build Uber's homepage, build Paystack's homepage, build what's it called, Bolts, Bolts, Uber, Paystack, and those are some of the projects that they get to do. So that when you get a project, the first thing that comes to your mind is if WordPress can do it. If WordPress can do it, that's the best thing for you to do. It will save time. It will cause less stress for you. So I think that's where we're going to wrap up this webinar. And thank you guys for joining. Let me know if you have questions. If you have any questions, I will just I will just like reply the questions, but I will make the video available to us just like the yesterday's one. And I'll also post it on the People Analyze YouTube page, so you can follow the YouTube page. So do we have questions, guys? I don't think we have questions
Yes. Well done. Well done there.
You said?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. So as it is now,
Yeah.
you, you can see maybe if you are using like as you say like cPanel and all that, you can see like install Elementor there.
Sorry, you said if I'm using what? Sorry.
For example, if you are using like cPanel now, can
cPanel.
you see like can you
Yeah.
see like use this Elementor?
Yes, yes. If you're using cPanel, in fact, most of all these websites are cPanel websites. It's just that because of time, there are a lot of things that you might need to register if you want to go to the WP Learnonline bootcamp. Of course, you can use it. WP Learnonline, if you go to our website and check curriculum, you will see all the things that you will do there in curriculum. Most of all these extensions and everything is there. So on cPanel, if you go to cPanel, you can use something called Subtaculous App Installer to install WordPress. Once you install WordPress, you can install Elementor on it and use Elementor. Do you get it? You can use Elementor on cPanel anywhere, even if it's AWS you are hosting. It doesn't have anything to do where you are hosting it. So long as you have a WordPress dashboard, you can go to plugins and install Elementor. Do you get? Yes, boss. Yeah. So, does anybody else have another question? Or if you have questions here, you can even just beep me. Like, just enter my DM, like, and I'll be more than glad to help out. So that being said, thank God that for this successful 2 hours 30 minutes. I'll see us like much later, and I'll post the video for this session. The link, I'll post it on the group. So thank you so much, guys. God bless you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for sticking around. God bless you guys. And then me una go tell them for the group. Say una don't learn many things for WordPress. So say your WordPress or say now your WordPress orientation now it don't change. At least I don't try. I don't change them small. So when they insult WordPress for group, we will just fire them saying no, don't slander WordPress. So take care of yourself, guys. God bless you and peace out.